Good morning, Brooklyn. How are you today? I'm a little tired. Went out of town this weekend. I'm a little tired. How about you? How was your weekend? Yeah. Did you visit family or did you just go for some fun? All right. That's great. Good job. Was it cold? Really? Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Good morning, Jo Marion. Feliz lunes. So you guys, last week, which feels like forever ago, I'm not sure why, but it does. We talked about like how often we do things, right? Like actividades habituales. Y'all remember that? Give me a thumbs up if you remember that. And we did that like pyramid of activities. Do you remember that, you guys? See or no? See? No? Yeah. So in the modules, of course, is I think I published, let me double check. The slides with the vocab, right? Con qué frecuencia, how often, right? With what frequency, right? Is how we would translate it in English, but literally we're just saying how often, right? Con qué frecuencia vas a caminar? So, first of all, let's kind of figure out what is this question asking, do you think? So we said con qué frecuencia means how often, right? What do you think the rest of it is asking? You can unmute, you guys. It would go faster if we unmuted. Based on the image, what do you think it could be asking?
How often do you go out for a walk or something?
Absolutely, that's perfect. How often do you go for a walk, right? So, con qué frecuencia vas tú, right? Tú vas, you go, a caminar, to go for a walk, right? Muy bien, muy bien. So, I agree with you, Jo Marion. It feels like ages ago, right? So, I'm going to put up a slide real quick. I'm going to share this with you again. This is in your module, by the way. Okay. Okay, so con qué frecuencia vas a caminar? Let's see if you can put an answer in the chat for me. So we had like when we do things, buenos días, Arshad. Ahora, luego, hoy, mañana, la próxima semana, right? When we do things this afternoon, esta tarde, esta noche, esta mañana. So how often? ¿Con qué frecuencia vas a caminar? A veces, en los fines de semana, nunca, Siempre o todos los días? What's your answer? How would we answer the question behind me? How often do you go for a walk? Pick one of the responses on the screen and pop it in the chat. A veces, okay. Todos los días, yay, Joe Marion. A veces, okay, muy bien. So sometimes you guys go for a walk. And so what we're going to do today, you guys, is we are going to sort of take all of these parts and pieces and we're going to learn how to say go. Yeah, all of those ways to say go, because you guys, before Christmas, before our break, we are going to learn a new verb tense, is what it's called, right? So normally right now, everything we do is in present tense, like I'm doing it right now, or like I do things generally, you know? Like if we say hablo con mis amigos, I'm talking with my friends, right? Or I talk with my friends todos los días, every day. It's something that I do generally right now, whatever. We're going to learn our first tense, our first verb tense to talk about the future. So we kind of need going in there, right? To talk about something that we're going to do. Okay. So also to talk about where we're going. Yeah. Where we're going. So let me switch up my background real quick. Okay. So clase, hoy es lunes, el 8 de diciembre. Vamos a practicar con el verbo ir y a repasar los lugares. So we need to review locations, right? If we're going to go somewhere, right? Or if we're going to do something at a certain place, we need to be able to remember some places, right? Like we would, if we go for a walk, sometimes we could walk at the park, right? So how do we say park? You know, those kinds of things, those locations where we can do stuff, right? Also, just a reminder that all assignments should be turned in, you guys, no later than the 17th, right? Which I think is next Wednesday or Thursday. I forget what day of the week it is. Okay. Okay. Any preguntas? You guys ready to get started? Arshad, I hope you had a good weekend. Brooklyn and I were just talking about how we had a busy weekend and now we're kind of tired. Yeah. So thank you, Brooklyn. Yeah, so a week from Wednesday. Okay, we want to make sure we have all of our assignments done. So did you have a good weekend, Arshad? See? Muy bien. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, you guys, just warm us up. It's Monday morning. I got a little game for us, okay? Just to kind of remind us of some vocabulary and stuff. So let me get that rocking here. And let's see. Let's do this one maybe. No, let's not do that. That's Monday morning. We want something easy on Monday morning. Let's just do that one. Okay. All right, give me a second. Okay. Okay, you guys, go ahead and click on that. And let's just warm up on this early Monday morning. All right, Arshad. Brooke, muy bien. Marion, where'd you go? Still there? Okay, go ahead and log in, Joe Marion. Click on that link in the chat. There we go. All right, you guys, let's do this. Give it your best shot. Oh, Jojo. Brooke, look at you. Come on, Arshad, you got this. Tug of war. All right, Arshad. We have about 2 minutes left, you guys. Ooh, look at that. 1 minute. $30. Look at Arshad. Jojo. 10 seconds, you guys. Okay. Great game. Good job, you guys. Nicely done. Muy bien. Look at that, Jojo. Finished on top. Good job. Okay, we can go ahead and back out of that, you guys. Muy bien. So let's start our verb to go. Okay, so remember, we're just going to say I go, you go, he goes, that we go, they go, right? I mean, easy peasy stuff. But I thought we would start it off, you guys, with a song first, especially again, because it's a Monday morning. So make sure that you all can hear, and then we'll get into it, okay? All right, here we go.
Saving money feels right. Just like when things are packed tidy and tight. Get auto.
Okay, can y'all hear? Give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear. All right, perfect. Okay, so pay attention to the forms, right?
Yo voy a leer en la biblioteca. vas a nadar en la piscina.
Tú vas a nadar en la piscina.
Sara va a comer en la cocina.
Sara va a comer en la cocina.
Vamos a cantar en el teatro.
Vamos a cantar en el teatro.
Van a correr todos en el parque.
Van a correr todos en el parque.
Voy, vas, van, vamos, van.
Hey, muy bien. Alrighty, so voy,
Learn
vas,
Spanish
va,
with Real Spanish
vamos,
TV.
and van, right? Yo voy, tú vas, él and ella va, usted va, nosotros vamos, ellos van, ustedes van, right? Voy, vas, va, vamos, and van. Okay. So now let's kind of get into how we're going to use those. Okay, clase? Alrighty. If you need to, this is all posted, you guys. I don't know if I've published it yet, but I will. All of this is in your module or your library module, right? So your resource library. So it's all good to go. Okay. Alrighty. So let's talk about how we're going to use this. The easiest way, obviously, is something that we're doing, right? So, for example, Lola va a Madrid, right? So Madrid is obviously city. So Lola goes to Madrid, right? She's going to Madrid. She's on her way. She's going to Madrid, right? And so if it's a place name, we just use a, right? A, when it's a city, we just use a. Let me see if I can do this. It'd be easier for me. Okay, so we're just talking about here, right? And so, however, if we're going to a place that is masculine, right? A plus L becomes al. Now, I know we did this in Spanish 1 last year. Right? If it's la, like la libreria, the bookstore, it just remains la. Okay, but if it's some place that we're going that's masculine, we have to make that contraction a plus L equals al. And we're going to look at that closer here in just a minute. Okay. So we could say Pablo va en coche a la escuela. Pablo goes literally by car to school, right? Nosotros vamos en el bus escolar. We go by school bus. Okay, so a lot of different ways we can use this. Okay, where do you go? ¿A dónde vas? We want to know where you're going, right? Voy a la librería. I go to the bookstore. ¿A dónde va Paula? Where's Paula going? Right? Or Patricia, whatever. Ella va a la librería. Okay. So we just need to remember that we have to make this contraction. Okay. A la librería, but if it's masculine, we're going to make it al. Okay. All right. So real quick, you guys, let's do a couple of these before we get into the weeds on this, right? So let's do this first one together. Manuel is the same as saying he, right, you guys? So what form would I use to put in the blank? You can unmute or pop it in the chat. What form would I use to say Manuel goes to the library? Yeah. Yes, that's right. Jamarian, Brooklyn, good. Arshad? He goes, right? So obviously this is yo, tú, él and ella. Instead, nosotros, right? And then this one's ellos. Oh, let's do it up here. Ellos and ellas, okay? And ustedes. So we would say va. Isn't that right, you guys? Okay. All right. So número dos. What form would we use here? Mis amigos y yo. mis amigos y yo. You can unmute or pop it in the chat. Very good, Joe Marion. Very good, Arshad. Brooke, what do you say? My friends and I. Yeah. So my friends and I, if I'm including myself, then it's a we situation, right? Because I'm not just saying my friends, they, I'm saying my friends and I'm going to, therefore we are going. Okay. So we would use vamos, right? Okay. So note, take a mental note here, you guys. Biblioteca, library, is feminine. So it remains a la, right? Manuel goes to the library, right? But the soccer game, partido, ends in an O, right? That tells us it's masculine. So we took al, we took a plus el, right? Because we're not going to say a el partido. We're going to make this contraction al because it's masculine. Okay, questions there? All right, let's do número 5. Ustedes. What would I do? You all are going to the restaurant. Good, Joe Marion. Arshad, Brooklyn, número 5. Good, Arshad. What do you say, Brooke? Yeah, muy bien. Ustedes van, right? You all are going, again, here, you guys, to the restaurant, right? Because restaurant is masculine. Okay. All right. How about número 9? Número 9. Are you going to a birthday party? Número 9. Good, Joe Marion. Good, Brooklyn. Arshad. Very good. So, muy bien, Arshad. So, right, vas. Now, notice here, you guys, they're saying, are you going to a birthday party? Right? A birthday party. So you don't have to worry about Allah or all or anything like that. Okay. All righty. Last one on this page. Let's do número 10. I'm not going to the supermarket. I'm not going to the supermarket. Good, Brooklyn. Joe and Arshad. I'm not going to the supermarket. Good, Arshad. Jojo. Good. So voy, right? And again, you guys, supermercado is masculine. And so notice the to the becomes al. Okay. All right, muy bien. Any questions about this contraction thing or what forms we used? Okay, let me erase all. All right. So let's just try this. Okay, we'll do a little writing. So first we're going to ask a question, right? And so we'll do number 1 together, right? Actually, let's do number 2 together. Okay. All right, we're going to do number 2 together. So let me open a text box. So we got to ask the question, where is my cousin Jose going? Okay, and I'm just going to put it down here. So, ¿a dónde va, right? Mi primo Jose. Okay, everybody see how I'm coming up with the question? We only have one person, right? Jose is one person. So, ¿a dónde va? We're going to go singular. Okay, here's our little chart up here in this corner. So then our answer is he's going to the gym. All right, so real quick, you guys, to the gym. Is gym masculine or feminine? Is gym masculine or feminine? Just tell me M or F, or you can unmute. Is gym masculine or feminine? Masculine. Okay. So again, because it's Jose and he's one person, right? We're going to say el va, right? We're going to use va. Good. And because Jim is masculine, we want to take our a and our l, right, to the, and we want to make a contraction and make it al. Again, only if it's masculine. Okay, you guys. Él va al gimnasio. Okay, everybody see that? Sí o no? Give me a thumbs up if you're with me there. Okay. All right. So I would like for you to pick any one of these, anyone from 3, 4, 5, 3 through 9, whichever. Okay. And do exactly what I did here, right? You're going to ask a question and then you're going to answer the question. And again, make sure that the correct form, that you're using the correct form of ear. Good morning, Marlacia. So I'll give you all a minute, pop it in the chat. Remember that chat box is like our, you know, our scrap paper, right? So question and answer real quick, just a little writing practice. Marlacia, we're just practicing with this verb to go, okay? So here's our example, you guys. Remember singulars versus plural. Marlacia, here's our forms of to go up here. Okay, so pick which one you like, anyone from 3 to 9. Write the question and the answer in the chat. If you need help, holler at me. We want to make mistakes, you guys. We want to make mistakes in the chat. Jamarian, ooh, round of applause. That's perfect. Good job. Arshad? Brooklyn, what do you say? No Googling, right, you guys? Arshad, what'd you come up with? Okay. All right, bueno. So one of us chose number 5, Clara y Victor, right? Or Clara y Victor. And they said, ¿A dónde van? They used van up here, right? ¿A dónde van Clara y Victor? So where are Clara y Victor going, right? And we chose van because we're talking about Clara y Victor, right? We're saying they. Where are they going? And so then in the response, we're going to use the same verb, right? They are going, they go. And then laboratorio is masculine, so we have to make this contraction. So ellos van al laboratorio de computación. Muy bien, round of applause for them. Okay, bueno. So then the next submission we have up here, Arshad, did you put yours in? Is mi abuela, so number 8 here. And the question, ¿a dónde va mi abuela, right? Mi abuela is singular, my grandmother. And so we would be saying she and therefore va, right? She goes. ¿A dónde va mi abuela? Where does my grandmother go, or where is she going? Ella va al supermercado. Again, supermercado is masculine, so we have to make this contraction over here. Okay, muy bien, good job. Muy bien. All right, Arshad, did you put yours in? Marleisha, preguntas? I know you just joined us. Any questions? Okay. Okay, muy bien. So number 9, Arshad says, ¿A dónde van? Right? Where are you guys going? Where are you all going? ¿A dónde van? And so the response, vamos, or ustedes van a la cafeteria. So this is feminine, right? Now, yeah. Now this is a little tricky because in number 9, we're talking to the person. We're not talking about the person, right? So, ustedes van a la cafeteria, to the cafeteria, right? Are you all going to the cafeteria? And so if we're asking that question, then they would say, yes, we, right? Are you all going to the cafeteria? Yes, we. So nosotros vamos a la cafeteria. Okay. So we have to be careful if we're actually talking to someone or if we're talking about them. Okay. All right. Muy bien. Good practicing, you guys. Nicely done. Okay. So let me switch up my screen and we're going to do something else here. We're going to brainstorm. Y'all are going to help me. Okay. So, we're going to come up with a list of places maybe that we can remember. Okay. And, you know, I know it's Monday morning and all that good stuff, right? So let me share this. I got my little quote unquote whiteboard pulled up. Okay. So let's talk about some places. So we had la cafeteria, we had laboratorio, we had supermercado, right? Can y'all think of any other places? Like if I said, how about what's school? Y'all remember the word for school? You can unmute or put it in the chat. What's the word for school? Joe, what's our word for school? You remember? Arshad, how do we say school? Or class? How do we say that? School, class, something like that. Remember that word? Anybody? Marleisha, you remember that word? How do we say class? Like Spanish class. Jojo? Yeah, very good, Marleisha. So yeah, so is it la or el? See, that's why these things are important. So this one happens to be la clase. right? And why are they important? Because you see, you guys, in our previous practice, if it was masculine, to the, we have to make the contraction all, right? So it does make a difference, like, what are these, right? Masculine or feminine, okay? What's the word? Oh, school, we said. La escuela. You all know that now. Oh, yeah, I know that. Okay. Can you think of another place? Do you remember the word for like movie theater, like cinema, library, park, theater, stadium? Do y'all remember any of those words? Places? Store. What was a store? Do you remember the word for store? Or mall? Park? Auditorium? I don't know. I don't remember what words we learned, but swimming pool. Yes, very good, Brooklyn. Do you think it's masculine or feminine? Yeah, it's masculine. Good. So el parque. Okay. Anybody else think of one? What was library? Well, we just had some in our slides here a minute ago. Do you remember the word for library? Or bookstore? Arshad, do you remember any of these? La biblioteca is a library, right? Do you remember where we bought shoes? When we went shopping, we bought shoes. La zapateria, right? Oops. Do you remember like florist? Remember any of those words? Teatro. Oh, come on, you guys. What's an airport? Y'all remember the word for airport? Or market? Supermarket? What were those? Market, supermarket. Yeah, very good. El supermercado, right? El supermercado. Okay, supermarket, masculine. Anything else? What about oh no, let's get another masculine one up here. How about el cine? What's el cine? Do you remember that? What's it look like in English? Yeah, the cinema. Muy bien, muy bien. So sí, sorry about that. Okay, so we have la clase, la escuela, la biblioteca, la zapateria, the shoe store, el parque, el teatro, el supermercado, and el cine, right? So let's be thinking about these because we're going to try to use them here in just a second, okay? And I'll leave them up here so that we can kind of go back and forth, okay? All right. So let's practice our verb to go. And if we look at this, our question, ¿a dónde vas para comprar blah, 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 right? So where do we go? Where do you go, ¿a dónde vas, to buy whatever, a particular item, right? Or like we did in our warm-up today, ¿a dónde van a caminar? Where do they go to walk, right? They, van, ¿a dónde van? Okay. So I did put up in here, you guys, la papelería, like the office, the paper store. I'm just going to go through these real quick. La zapateria, we said, was the shoe store. La carniceria was the butcher shop. El mercado or el supermercado, again, this is just a reminder. El vivero, right, is like a nursery where you can buy stuff for your yard. Then we had la biblioteca, la librería. Tienda de ropa, clothing store, right? El baño, the bathroom. La casa is our house. Piscina was a pool. El parque, el cine, el gimnasio, right? We've had all of these if you were with me last year. And these should all be in the module somewhere. Okay. La oficina is our office. Peluqueria, you guys, was where we go get our hair done. Farmacia, the pharmacy, right? So all of these places, right? Okay. So we're going to practice. Let me get myself in order. And we're going to practice some of these, right? All right. Yikes. I lost my spot. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm going to, there it is. Okay. I'm going to, I guess I lied. Okay. I'm going to just go back to the whiteboard. It'll probably be easier. Okay. So I'm going to ask y'all some questions, and I'll put this back up here again. Okay. And let's see what you can respond to me. Okay, so escúchame. So let's listen real quickly. And it doesn't have to be true at all, right? So if I say to you, clase, ¿a dónde vas? Right? Where do you go, or where are you going? For example, if I said, ¿a dónde vas después de la escuela, after school, right? That's where those words of frequency come in. ¿A dónde vas después de la escuela? So where are you going after school? Well, if we're going to respond, right, what form of to go are we going to use, you guys? Because if we're responding, and I'm just going to abbreviate sort of over here. Right? So if I, yeah, very good. So if I say, ¿a dónde vas? Right? Where do you go? You would respond by saying voy. Right? Okay. And then finishing it up. Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and then let's just see what y'all come up with. ¿A dónde vas? El sábado. Anybody remember what day of the week sábado is? ¿A dónde vas el sábado? What's sábado? What day of the week is sábado, clase? Saturday. Muy bien. Okay, so again, these do not have to be true, right? They don't have to be true, but let's just try to answer the questions. ¿A dónde vas el sábado? Okay, so where do you go on Saturday? Saturday, right? Okay, Brooklyn, you want to go first? You can pop it in chat, or you can unmute. Okay, ¿a dónde vas el sábado? Again, doesn't have to be true. Okay, muy bien. Now remember our contraction, because we need to be able to say to the supermarket, right? So el sábado voy. A plus L becomes A plus L becomes al. Very good. So we can say el sábado voy al supermercado, or we can say voy al supermercado el sábado, whatever. Okay. We can kind of mix those up. All right, let's try another one. What do we have up here? Okay, Arshad. Arshad, based on what we have on the list up here, or if you know a place, you can add it yourself. ¿A dónde vas in order to practicar deportes? Practicar deportes, to do sports, Arshad. ¿A dónde vas para practicar deportes? What would your answer be? You can use something on the list, or if you know the word for gym, whichever. Arshad. And you can unmute or you can pop it in the chat. ¿A dónde vas para practicar deportes? Where do you go to play sports? Again, it doesn't have to be true, right? Okay, in a full sentence, Arshad. Because we want to use our to go and we want to use our contraction if we need to. So how do we do that? Just like you did in the other slides, except you're talking about yourself fictitiously. How do we do it in a full sentence? I go would be what, Arshad? You know this. What would we get? Because A plus L becomes what, Arshad? If it's el gimnasio, A plus L becomes what? Yeah, very good. So yo voy al gimnasio. I go to the gym. Or in a really long sentence, right? Voy al gimnasio para practicar deportes, in order to play sports, right? Okay, muy bien. Okay, Jo Marian, your turn. Again, doesn't have to be truth. ¿A dónde vas, Jo Marian? Para leer, to read, leer. ¿A dónde vas para leer, Jo Marian? ¿A dónde vas para leer, to read? Pop it in the chat, Joe, or you can unmute. ¿A dónde vas para leer? Where do you go to read? So how would we say I go? How do we say I go, clase? Yeah, very good. Yo voy. So then where do you go to read? We go to the library, which is la biblioteca. So we need to say to the library, right? Yo voy a la biblioteca, right? I go to the library, la biblioteca. Yo voy a la biblioteca. Okay, last thing we're going to do with this one is everybody is going to respond to this last question. Okay, I mean, listen well. ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? A ver películas. Ooh, that's a tricky one. Ver películas, to see movies. Clase. So I want everyone to answer this one in the chat. ¿A dónde vas para ver películas, to see a movie, to see movies? Muy bien, Jo Marian. Okay, so you just want to tell me to the, right? I go to the wherever. So do you make a contraction or don't you? What do you say, Arshad? Sí. So, muy bien. So we can say, yo voy al cine. I go to the cinema. Al cine, because it's masculine. We could say, voy al cine para ver películas. I go to the cinema to see movies, right? Voy al cine para ver películas. Okay. All right. Muy bien. Preguntas. We're going to keep practicing. Okay. So we have roughly, I don't know, 20 minutes left, give or take. What I would like for us to do, clase, is if you can meet me in Canvas, please. And I do, again, want to remind you about work being done between now and Wednesday. Okay, let me get back to Canvas with you. Okay, so there's actually two things that I would like us to do between now and Wednesday. Let's look at this one first. This is just a basic, it's Práctica 23. You have the forms of ear. You also have your contraction al or Allah as a reminder, and you have some examples here. Okay. It says quiz, of course, it's not a quiz, right? But all you're essentially going to do in number one is put in the correct form of the verb to go. So you can use the chart. I got to do scroll up and down. And then question number two, notice you guys, it has the verb already, right? What you have to do is decide if they're masculine or feminine. So you don't even, the location, right? So you don't even need to know what they mean. You just need to be able to figure out if they're masculine or feminine. So obviously if it ends in an O, it's masculine. If it ends in an A, it's feminine. And so then you put in the contraction, okay? All right, any questions about what I mean by putting in the contraction? So in question number two, you do not need to put in the verb. It's already there. You just need to put in al or Allah. Okay, any questions there? Okay. The next thing is, and let me publish it real fast, and then I'm going to need at least one of you to let me know if you can access this. Okay. All right, Joe Marion. Joe, can you help me? Can you refresh your Canvas screen? And let me know when you're ready. Give me a thumbs up because I need your help with some. Jojo, did you refresh your Canvas screen? Okay. So you should see something called this maze right here. Do you see this, Joe? So what I need to know is if there's a way for you to access that. Yes? Can you access it, Joe? Jojo? Is that a yes? Okay. Brooklyn can? Okay. So then can you, yeah, use the little paint tool. Make your line whatever you want to make it. Okay. All right. So everybody take a look at the, thank you. Everybody take a look at the screen, Arshad. This is going to be our starting point right here. Right. And how do you get from the starting point to the end point? Right. You guys, that's the goal. And so you have this maze. And notice you have here yo, and you have like hamburguesa, right? So this one says yo vas al restaurante, and this one says yo voy al restaurante. So which one is correct? Is it yo vas or yo voy? It's obviously yo voy, right? And so you're going to take your tool and you're going to just draw a line, right? This way, and then that takes you to ellos, and then you're going to do the same thing. Is it él va al correo or ellos van a la biblioteca, right? And so you're going to make your choice and draw your line. Does everybody see what I'm doing here? Sí o no? Give me a thumbs up. Joe does. Okay. Arshad, you see what I'm getting at? Thank you, Brooke. Right. And then your goal is to get over here. Okay. So, but you have to have the right answers. Okay. Okay. So it's about 9:30. I'm going to let you guys work on those two things. And that way, if you have a question, I'm here to help you. Okay. Stay in class, por favor. I need to take attendance to my. Yeah, you guys, we have plenty of time to be able to get these done before you leave today. Just let me know if you need help. Joe, you need help? You good? Okay. How about you, Brooklyn? Yep, very good. Yep, very good. Okay, Joe. Let's see. Can you put it back up on Go Guardian for me? Jamari? Feminine, Brooklyn. Okay. So Eos or Eos, whatever that is plural, right? Eos. So is it vamos? Oh, I see what you're saying. That's an impasse right there, isn't it? I see. Okay, I see. I see now. So this, let me see if I can write on this. I don't know if I can write on this. Hold on. Hang on, Joe. So this right here, if you can see my screen or your screen. Can you see my pointer, Joe Marion? Yeah. So this right here should actually go this way. Should go this way. Because the mailman is correo, right? So ellos van al correo. So you're gonna erase this one. That was my fault. Erase this one and come up here, and then you'll be on the right track. And then it'll make sense. Okay, this was my fault. Yeah. There you go. So you have to look at the place as well. So you're going to come up this way. Nope, this way. Diagonally. Yeah, you're going to come up here. Diagonal. Yeah, because I ignored the image, right? The image is an envelope, so it would be the mailman, the post office rather. So then you're going to be up here at tu. And then that symbol is for the hospital. So you're going to pick the right one. Does that set you straight now, Joe Marion? That was my fault. Okay, sorry about that. Arshad, are you good? Because that was my mistake. You want to put it back up on the screen for me, Brooklyn? Or did you already see? Okay, so okay, there you go, Brooklyn. Be plural, right? There you go. Yep. Okay, so we have about a minute, you guys. So if you have a question, now's the time. Go back one, Brooklyn. Question number 2. Yeah, click the blue button to start it again. Yeah, go to question 2. Yeah. So you had one that was, you put it in as feminine and it was masculine. Of course, now we don't see it. So I didn't speak up faster than you hit the submit button. I apologize. Okay, you guys, that's our time. That one's feminine, right? Feria. Okay, Joe. You want to put it up on the screen? Ellos. I gotta make this bigger. Okay, so you see with the apartment building, Joe, you see the apartment building? You right here, you went to the park instead of the apartment building. You need to go to the apartment building. Right here. Right? See where it says voy al apartamento? You need to go to the apartment building. Right here. See what I'm saying? You got to take into consideration the location, right? Okay. Okay, let me see. Brooke. Yeah. Are you good, Brooke? Let's see. Okay, restaurante is masculine. 9, number 9. And number 6 is masculine because it's laboratory. Okay. All right, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Nos vemos miércoles. Okay. See you Wednesday. Adios.